What does the IRS look at when they're auditing you? Well, let's talk about a side issue that maybe helps provide relevance. If you owe taxes to the US government, the IRS can run your credit report without you really authorizing them because there's a debt owed to the government. So they do look at public records. Now, during an audit, they can check Google and social media. I've had an auditor say, well, I checked the company's website and it seems like they're doing a lot of other transactions. They have a second office, but I have really not a lot of income. What's going on? They're not allowed to search private, right? Private social media accounts. Whatever's publicly available, they can search. Sometimes it's frowned upon, and even internally within IRS, to actually, dig deep on social media. It's kind of taboo. They can do it. Doesn't mean that eventually their artificial intelligence AI bots will not do it on their own, gather all that information, whatever's available in public records, and then start the audit from that perspective. It can be done by computer, and it certainly can, and I've seen it being done by a revenue agent, which is what they call the auditors for the IRS. So presume that they know as much as you know. And when you go into an audit, you want to think about, okay, did you just buy a car, an expensive car last year, but you didn't report a lot of income? Think about that. If you are in that situation where you potentially underreported income, they could look at your spending, your lifestyle, right? It's basically called a lifestyle audit. They've been doing that for years. Before you start the audit, they will do that and see maybe you took a trip to Cancun, but have zero income reported in your tax return. Doesn't mean it's not legitimate. You're just going to have to provide a good explanation. And there are good explanations. For instance, people who are involved in real estate transactions, they might have a lot of losses that offset income. And so income might be zeroed out on the front page of that return, but buried deep in the return on Schedule 1, you have your income from maybe one business that offsets or is offset by your net operating losses from another. So it zeroes out. So it looks like you have no income. But what you really have is a lot of losses, and they may entirely be legitimate, right? When you buy real estate, you can depreciate that. So definitely assume IRS knows as much as you do and prepare your documents before you go to that IRS interview, whether you do it by yourself, which we don't recommend having an attorney who will go through all of these issues. They should be able to look at your tax return, identify the things that are common flags. And we've had over 600 audits between IRS and state of California. We can look through a return. We'll identify the things that we believe are going to be hot topic items, regardless of what the IRS puts on their audit letter, because the audit letters don't include all the issues. It might include 3 or 4 issues, but ultimately these are numbers that are be outliers, right? Especially for your industry or maybe based on the returns you had in prior years. We generally look at 3 or 4 years and find outliers in numbers. So prepare the information with the understanding you're going to have to provide an explanation for things that are abnormal for you or abnormal for the industry if you have a business, for your business industry. I'm John Milikowsky, founder of Milikowsky Tax Law.